I couldn't believe what I was looking at. There she was, Karen from the HOA board inside my ranch house. Not just standing, not just lurking around, she was living there. She was really living in my home. I'd been gone only 2 weeks, visiting my brother in Montana, and when I returned, the front gate was unlocked, the porch lights flickered on, and a faint trail of smoke floated up from the chimney, as if she owned the place. I stepped up, key in hand, prepared to open the door, but it was already wide open. I pushed it and the old wooden hinges squeaked loudly. Inside, the sight struck me like lightning. Karen stood in my living room, wearing one of my flannel shirts over her floral dress. Her hair was wrapped in rollers, and she held a cup of tea like she'd always been there. My recliner had her blanket thrown across it. Ranger, my dog, sat patiently on the floor beside her, looking confused but strangely relaxed. No barking, no growling. Clearly, she had bribed him with snacks. "What the hell, Karen? What are you doing here?" I yelled, stepping inside, my voice echoing off the walls. She blinked at me, calm as ever, like I was the intruder. "Oh, it's you," she said softly, taking a slow sip. "I thought you'd be gone longer." "Gone longer?" "You're living in my house," I said, voice rising. "How did you even get in?" She shrugged as if it was obvious. "You left it empty. It looked abandoned. The HOA rules say properties shouldn't be left unoccupied for too long, so I just looked after it." That was the last straw. I stared at her, stunned. "You're lying. You broke in or hired someone. No one just looks after a house that isn't theirs." But before I could say more, she set her tea down, reached into the armrest for her cell phone, and did something that made my blood run cold. She dialed 911 right in front of me. "I'm calling the police," she said calmly. "There's a strange man in my home. He's yelling, threatening me. Please send someone quickly." My stomach dropped. I froze. Did she really just claim I was breaking into my own house? My mind scrambled. The police were on their way and I had no idea what they'd believe, and that's when everything changed. Because Karen wasn't just trying to spin a story. She was planning something darker. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from inside. I instinctively looked toward the sound. Glass shattered. Furniture was thrown. Someone was fighting inside. My heart hammered. Who? Was it Karen? Or someone else? Then I saw a figure dart out the window, slipping into the shadows. It was a man in a hoodie, clutching a small black bag. My eyes widened. That was the same man I'd seen lurking around during the day, the one who seemed to be watching me. Without thinking, I lunged toward the door, but Karen was already on her phone, loudly whispering into it, her voice hushed but urgent. "You better hurry," she said. "He's here, and the police are on their way. I need you to get down, here fast. Bring the paperwork." I realized then. This wasn't just some petty squabble. Karen had hired someone, probably that hoodie guy, to help her. They were staging a setup, trying to freeze me out or worse. I watched her slip her phone into her purse and calmly walk toward the front door. She looked at me with that same cold smile, like she was already 2 steps ahead. I knew I had to act fast. I darted outside, the night air sharp and cold. Ranger trotted beside me, ears alert. I looked around, heart pounding, trying to piece what was happening, and then I saw it, a shadow moving near the driveway. A figure slipped behind. My barn. I crept closer, trying not to make a sound. That's when I saw it, the black bag the hoodie guy had been clutching. I could see a glint of something inside. Was it stolen goods? Something worse? Before I could get closer, Karen appeared behind me, voice sharp. "You're not going anywhere," she hissed. "This is just the beginning." I spun around. She was smiling, but her eyes burned with fury. "You think you can just come back and take your house? Think again. I've already called the cops and they're on their way. But I've got friends, Mr. Walker, friends in high places, and you're not stopping what's coming." That's when the headlights cut through the darkness. 2 police cars screeched to a halt in my driveway. Officers jumped out, guns drawn, faces serious. "Sir," one officer said, pointing his flashlight at me. "What's going on here?" I raised my hands, heart pounding. This woman's inside my house. She's trespassing and she's calling 911 claiming I'm threatening her. I want her removed. Karen, still on her phone, tried to act innocent. He's the one breaking in, but one of the officers cut her off sharply. Ma'am, do you have proof you live here? She hesitated, then fumbled. I have a letter from the HOA. It's in my car. I'm on the board. The officer looked at her unimpressed. That's not enough. Do you have a lease, utility bill, anything with your name and this address? Her face twitched, caught in her own lie. I left it in the mail, she stammered. I just moved in. The officers weren't buying it. They looked at my documents, verified my ownership, and finally confirmed that I was the rightful owner. Karen's face paled. She tried to argue, but the officers had already moved to cuff her. Ma'am, one said, voice cold. You're under arrest for trespassing, false reporting, and conspiracy, she shrieked, struggling against the cuffs. But it was too late. As she was led away, she spat her last words. This isn't over. You'll regret this. I watched her go, trembling, my mind racing. I thought I was finally free. But then I saw a flash of movement behind the police cars. Someone was watching. It was a shadow, slipping away into the woods. I squinted. I couldn't tell who it was, but I knew one thing. This wasn't just about Karen anymore. Someone was still out there, someone who knew my secrets, someone who wouldn't stop. And I knew then, I'd only won a battle, not the war. The real fight was just beginning. Because the truth had only started to surface, and whoever was behind all this wasn't finished yet. The moment the police car roared away, I felt a strange emptiness settle inside me. Karen was gone, cuffed, and hauled out, but I knew this wasn't the end. Not by a long shot. My heart still hammered in my chest and my mind raced to catch up. I tried to catch my breath, but then I saw it. A flicker out of the corner of my eye. A shadow. Moving swiftly between the trees behind my house, quick and silent. My eyes widened. My stomach clenched. That wasn't just Karen's ghost haunting the woods. It was someone else. Someone watching me. Watching my house. My pulse hammered in, my ears. I reached for my phone on instinct, my hands trembling. The screen lit up with a new message. You think this is over? Think again. No number, no sender. Just those words glaring back at me like a punch to the gut. My mind spun. Who was this? Was it another warning or a threat? I looked down at Ranger, my loyal dog, who had been oddly quiet all night. His ears perked up, eyes locked on the woods. He was tense, ready to pounce or run. I knew he sensed it too. Whoever was out there wasn't gone. They were hiding, waiting for the right moment. I took a deep breath, trying to calm my nerves. But inside, I was anything but calm. I knew this game wasn't over. Not yet. Someone was watching me. Someone was still out there, lurking in the shadows, silently plotting their next move. I stared at the woods again, feeling a chill run down my spine. Whatever was coming, I wouldn't run. I'd fought too hard to get here. I was done hiding. The game had changed, and now I was in it for good. I had to be ready, because the next attack could come at any second, and I had no idea who or what. I was really up against my house, my land. This wasn't just property anymore. It was a battleground, and I was standing right in the middle of it. I could feel it in my bones. Someone was waiting, watching, and they weren't done with me yet, not by a long shot. I clenched my fists. Ranger barked softly beside me, ears twitching at every sound. We were both on high alert now, eyes sharp and hearts pounding. Whatever was coming, I wasn't going to let it catch me off guard. Not again, not ever, because I knew the truth. This was only the beginning. The real fight was just about to start. And if I wanted to survive, I'd have to face it head on. No more hiding, no more running. I was ready to face whatever darkness was waiting, even if it meant walking straight into the shadows, and I swear I would not go down without a fight. The clock struck midnight, but I didn't sleep. My mind kept racing, trying to piece together what I'd just learned. The truth hit me like a lightning bolt. Karen wasn't the real mastermind. She was just a pawn, a distraction. The person pulling the strings was someone I never suspected, someone I'd trusted, and now I knew exactly who it was. Suddenly the door burst open with a loud bang. I froze, heart pounding so loud I thought it would burst from my chest. Standing in the doorway was the person I'd least expected, my own brother. His eyes, cold and empty, stared at me like I was nothing but an obstacle. "You thought you could hide from the truth," he whispered, stepping inside. "But I've been watching you all along. It was me. I set everything in motion. Karen was just a pawn in my game." My mind reeled. How could it be? My own brother, the person I trusted most, was the mastermind? Before I could say a word, he pulled out a gun, the barrel trembling slightly as he aimed at me. "I've come too far," he said. "This family, this land, mine now. And you? You're in my way." Time slowed down. I saw the gun, the cold glint in his eyes, and realized I was about to die. But then out of nowhere, Ranger lunged forward, barking fiercely. The gunshot echoed through the room, but Ranger's claws tore into his leg. My brother yelped in pain, stumbling back. In that split second, I grabbed the nearest object, a heavy lamp, and swung it with all my strength. It struck him hard, knocking him to the ground. The gun skittered across the floor, out of reach. My brother stared at me, stunned, blood dripping from his leg. "You've lost," I said, voice shaking but firm. "It's over." He looked up at me, a bitter smile, curling his lips. "You think this ends today? No, there's more. Someone else is behind all this, someone even worse. You haven't seen the last of them. Trust no one." Then the lights flickered and died. Darkness swallowed the room. I fumbled for my phone, turning on the flashlight. That's when I saw it. An envelope on the table, sealed with a strange symbol. I opened it carefully and pulled out a letter. It read, "You thought you knew the truth, but the biggest secret is yet to come. Look beneath the floorboards." My heart stopped. I knelt down, pulling back the loose planks. There, buried deep, was a small box. Inside was a photo. Me, my brother, Karen, and a shadowy figure in the background. Someone I'd never seen before, watching us. Suddenly, the room shook. My brother's voice echoed from behind me, cold and hollow. "You're too late. The real game has just begun." And as I looked closer, I saw the figure in the photo was holding a familiar object, something I'd seen only once before. It was a symbol of ultimate power, hidden in plain sight. No one was safe. Not me. Not my brother. Not anyone. Because the worst was yet to come. And when it did, there would be no escaping the truth. No running from the darkness. I clutched the photo tightly, my mind racing, because I knew deep down this story wasn't ending. It was just the beginning of something much bigger, something that could change everything forever.